To see some of those small spin-ups coming across the area from Willowdale back up to Toppins Grove right now. This is the main warning of concern. If you're inside this polygon here, we want you to seek shelter immediately. All the walls around you. That is key here, whether it's the bathroom, the basement. Definitely want to get into that basement if you have it. If you don't have the basement, well, the bathroom or the closet will also do. And get out of a mobile home. That's never the safest place to be because that's not a sturdy shelter. And it's the same thing with the car. You want to get out of that car as well. If you are outside, well, you probably want to get into a ditch if you have no other place to go out there. But showers and storms cruising on through. We continue to see a lot of heavy rain back towards the west across portions of Scioto County, out through portions of Athens and Vinton County, where we're seeing some very heavy rainfall, upwards of 1 to as much as 3 inches. Actually, Cincinnati today broke a daily maximum record for rainfall for the day out there. So a lot of problems back towards the west, and all of this, unfortunately, is moving our way. But we want to remind you, this is not going to be like last year. Trust me, I have family that's in some of those areas that were hit hard by the flooding. We're not going to see that magnitude. Unfortunately, though, right now we are seeing a little bit of severe weather out there, and we'll zoom back in as meteorologist Brian Hughes controls the radar up towards the Ravenswood area, just north of town. You're out of the box, but we still want you to be in that safe spot, even if you're outside of the polygon. You definitely want to respect this spot, of course, because we're seeing the shower and thunderstorm activity and that capability of a tornado warning here until about 7 p.m. So if you're around Utica, up towards Flynn, back down towards Cuba, you're seeing some of that rotation. And there's a little bit of a notch here at times of where that wind is being sucked into the storm.
And Eric, just so you know, they have continued, the National Weather Service has continued to update this tornado warning, and that's going to be just north of Elizabeth here.
Yeah, just north of Elizabeth there, over towards the courthouse. That's one location you'll want to watch out there. North of town, up towards Balua Hill, you can see tightening a little bit here across portions of Wood and Wirt County coming out the Balua Hill area up towards Greencastle. And right here on the front end, we're most likely getting some of those gusty winds like Brian was talking about, over 60 to as possibly 70 miles per hour. So this is going to cruise through, and you're most likely probably not going to see it because the rain is coming down upwards of 2 inches per hour. So this is the circulation that we're looking at right here over County Route 10 as well as County Route 6 just north of Elizabeth. If you're towards the Cisco area, we want you to seek shelter immediately. Out towards Gerda, even towards Oxbow, you're not in the warning just yet, but you're close enough that we want you in that low spot. And here's the wind shear product, and this gives us a better view of what is turning upstairs with some of those winds, and they're being brought down to the surface, and that's why the concern is here for a tornado warning. So one area up here towards Balua Hill and Elizabeth, another area towards Lowdale, Willowdale, and Cuba, even just north of Ravenswood. We want you in those safe places. Windy, McLean, you're up next. You can kind of see a little notch starting to form in right there towards Elizabeth and just basically east of Rockport now, east of Windy. It's windy in Windy right now. McLean also seeing some of that, and then around the Willowdale area, still that sharp signature here with the reds as well as a little bit of purple mixed in at times, and that's where we're seeing some of that rotation. This has broadened a big deal across this area, and that means there's probably a good wall of wind coming in as well as a little bit of a shelf cloud showing up as well.
And Eric, I absolutely believe that the tornado warning that we do have across parts of sections of northern Jackson County as well as southern Wood County, I think we're in okay shape. We do have to watch this as what's happening across sections of Wirt County north of Elizabeth near Beulah Hill. But right now, a new tornado warning has been issued, and we are going to stay with our coverage now. And this is going to be here across parts of Boyd, Carter, and Lawrence County.
Boyd, Carter, and Lawrence County. It's on this back end here, just north of Beetle, seeing a nice little signature here, some dark light shades of green. There's the wind shear product. Look, you get that little S-shaped curve going. That means we got something going on here. So if you're around the Goldie-Hue area towards Jerial and up towards Denton, we want you to seek shelter immediately. If we can get you those safe tips real quick before we get you into the track of this storm, we'll take weather 4 real quickly there. We want you in the basement, the innermost closet of your home with all the walls around you. And if you have a helmet to put over your head, that will also help you in this situation with a tornado warning being issued here. So around Willard by 7 o'clock, most likely right on top of you up towards the beach. Beetle area. You're not going to see this one because there is a lot of water falling out of the sky. So this is most likely obscured here as this continues to push off to the north and east. So up towards Sandy Furnace at 721, Glenwood around 716, 703 up towards Goldihue and Jeriel on that warning there.
And Eric, here's the one thing about this tornado warning that we do have here across parts of eastern Kentucky.
Yep.
For those of you in Denton, Jarrell, as well as Glenwood, Bowles Fort, Big Sandy, this is going to be a potentially rain-wrapped tornado. So what that means is that you will not be able to see this heading your way.
Right.
Now, as you can't see this heading your way, you really need to take your safety precautions. So
right here, right around Denton and Jeriel out ahead of this, because you can see that circulation very, very tight here, the reds and the greens with each other up towards the Nativity area, and then back up towards Jeriel. Jeriel right now, I want you in your safe spot, all the walls around you, the bathroom, the innermost closet, or the basement, out of a car, because that is not a sturdy structure as well. Now you get up here, Big Sandy, Bolts Fork, Mivity, and around Cannonsburg. This cell is going to be cruising up towards Huntington, and the problem is this whole area is getting inundated with 2 to 3 inch rainfall rates coming on through here. This is tropical rain that is wrapping into the storm. We apologize for breaking into programming, but we do have a tornado warning to talk about here in Jackson County, West Virginia right now, right around the Fairplain area. This is going to be a little bit hard to see because if you notice as you look outside your door, the rain is coming down pretty hard. It's really falling in buckets here. But zooming on in with our wind shear rate product, and you can pick it up clearly here where the rotation is right around Fairplain, and that's why we have the tornado warning just south of Fairplain here, this little red zone. If we could zoom in a little bit closer, meteorologist Brian Hughes here with me driving the radar. If we get up towards the Given area, you're inside the warning, so we want you to seek shelter immediately. And you can see some of these smaller streets here along County Route, which one is that, Brian?
That is going to be County Road 2129 and Given Road that it's going to be working its way to south of Fairplain, going towards Plum Orchard.
So eventually south of Fairplain over towards Plum Orchard, like Brian was saying, this would eventually be crossing over Interstate 77. So if you're around the Given area south of Fairplain over to Plum Orchard, we want you to seek shelter immediately. Lowest spot, whether it's the basement or the bathroom or the closet, we want you to have all the walls around you. This tornado warning, once again, until 8:30, a little bit hard to see, but if you're in the Plum Orchard area around 8:27, over towards Stratton's Mills, towards the Belgrove area by 8:35. This is coming up on you pretty quick, and if we go back over to the regular radar view, you'll be able to see this is very, very hard to pick out because there's a lot of yellow, a lot of orange, a lot of red here on the board, but there's just a narrow strip of some of that red right there, and that's what we're hinting at where that tornado warning is, just south of Fairplain, working towards Plum Orchard, and that's a little bit of that wind that's curly-cueing all the way back down towards Upland and Dudley Gap, although off to the south, you're not in this tornado warning. Very, very small polygon that we're seeing here right around the Given area, over towards Belgrove, even up towards Gay and Marshall. You're fair game here for some very gusty winds outside of the warning. The warning has actually been canceled there in Jackson County. Kind of exit. If we have that camera by any chance, maybe we can get that set up and kind of give you a view of what's going on. We'll stay with this just for a couple more minutes here. Just for safety concerns here, south of Fairplain, over towards Given. Even if you're around the Kenna area, back up towards Belgrove, you can see the polygon has been canceled, but noticing a lot of wind here, and you can actually see the trail edge of this right on the storm relative velocity. Bright greens, that is a wave of wind and also a big wave of water here that is pushing on through and being pushed down to the ground from Ripley up to Ravenswood, coming down pretty good, all the way back here towards Ashland, all the way out towards Lexington. Flash flood warnings along this whole corridor. So if you're between basically right now Ashland up to Parkersburg, pushing eastbound to Charleston and eventually into portions of Nicholas County, back up towards Clay and Roane County, we're going to be noticing a lot of rainfall here, a lot of rainfall over the next couple of hours ahead. We're seeing rainfall rates upwards of 1 to as much as 2 inches per hour. Wind shear rate still a concern here. Fairplain over to Given, but no warning. The warning has been canceled. So that's some good news, at least for Jackson County, West Virginia. but we're still seeing those gusty winds. If we could take that camera over there towards the Ravenswood area, you can see the rain coming down pretty good at this hour, and lots of ponding on the roadways. We want you to slow it down this evening. Wind chill wipers on. Take it easy and avoid the hydroplaning concerns. We'll send you back over to programming those since we're not seeing any more tornado warnings, but if anything else crops up, we'll pop back in and keep you alert. Remember, you can download the free mobile app Storm Tracker 13, available at the Apple and Google Play Store. For now, we'll send you back over to programming.